do not let the current feelings that you have mislead you, affect the values that you have had, you've had for a long time.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samuel Mugabi. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another episode about the glorious life. Here we talk about issues to do with finances, personal issues, societal issues, spiritual issues, finances, everything. So we are so glad whenever you join in, so we can learn, so we can share experiences together. Here with me today, I have my very good friend, and for a very long time we've done life together, and today I felt it was very important to sit with her so we can share a few issues that affect the youth. And let her introduce herself first before we dig into what we have to speak about today.
Hi, my name is Mugabo Esther.
Today, Esther and I want to share about peer pressure. Just peer pressure, because today we've had it in schools, we've had it in, in CRE when we are still in school. What are the causes of children to get spoiled? And one of the answers would be peer pressure. That was a very common answer for many of us when we were in school. But question is, when we have grown up, do people really understand what peer pressure is? And do they understand the effects? Do they understand the causes? Do they understand peer pressure in general? That is why we are here. So Esther, yes. What's peer pressure to you? How do you understand it?
Peer pressure is, to me, I think it is you do not want to do something, or you're not doing something out of your own will, that I would want to do it. You have the urge to do it, but it's just because the people around you are involving in that. They are doing that. You also decide to take on that.
Wow, I've loved what you've used, the word you have used, will. Like, you don't want to do something, but you end up doing it out of your own will. You do it because someone else is doing it. And, that is something that is affecting the youth today, the generation today. But question, why do you think people end up in peer pressure? People,
mostly the youths, you have not given time to yourself to identify who you are.
Oh yeah.
We have not done self-identity. You are that time when you're still a youth, you're still a teenager, you're still searching, who am I, where do I belong, So in the long run, if you do not take this initiative to understand yourself as a person, you will end up following what others are doing, whether just you just go. And I also think the other reason is the company that we keep. I will come, I've grown up in church, I've been here in church, and what. But because I'm still identifying myself, I don't know, I have personality, something, I'll also go out there, I'll find friends, and what they will do is what I will do. We are just going bandwagon, chilling. If you do this, we shall all do, just for fun. But later on, they don't know that it is costing their future, it is costing their lives.
So that has, so briefly put, because of lack of self-discovery, or because people are failing to discover who they are, both in the world and also in Christ, both in their personal and spiritual lives, that is how they end up in peer pressure. Speaking of which, while we were talking, I'm one of the people who, I really love technology. I love the technology advancement and all that has come with it. However, with all that's going on in the world, I have noticed something, and I don't know what we are going to do with this current trend that is going on. We are in the era where there is a lot of artificial intelligence that has come in, briefly put as AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, and all that. A lot of stuff is coming in, and also the social media addiction. So because of all that, we have got youth or young people who have been so addicted to the devices, to technology. They have been very addicted to AI, and they've got to a point where they no longer believe in themselves, but they know that anything that I need, I can get it from just one device here. So eventually, in the long run, their esteem has failed. And what happens when people do not have the esteem, they fail, they stop believing in themselves. And they yearn, they thirst for a company where they can belong to.
Yeah.
They lose a sense of belonging and they're like, okay, where can I go? Whom can I interact with? How can I, do life with people? Because for a long time they feel they have been doing it with their phone or their computer, and they want someone to do life with physically. And in the midst of, that confusion, they end up falling into a trap of wrong people. So they're like, okay, let me just go with whoever comes my way. And that's where they find wrong company, they find the bad company, and they end up doing what those people do, not because they want, but because that's all there is to follow. Now, also, I need to understand, what should the youth do to avoid peer pressure? But before we get to that, what do you think are the effects of peer pressure? How do you see, like, how has peer pressure affected the youth of this generation? Because some of them think it is very okay. They think it's just copy and paste. Actually, briefly put, peer pressure is copy and paste. I don't have to be creative on my own. That is why people find it so easy to go to AI. They've been given examinations, and they just have to put in a question. Hello, AI, what is science? AI will give you their definition. They just copy and they paste. And these are things that I've seen even some of the university students doing. And it's very disastrous because people get to a point where they no longer think. So peer pressure is copy and paste. So I need to know, what do you think are the effects?
To me, peer pressure has contributed so much to the choices that we make. We as youths, most especially teenagers, youths, in that kind of age bracket, peer pressure has contributed so much to our choices that in the end, in the future, are going to bring disasters. Let me give you an example. You're at campus. But because everyone around you, your circle, the people you're keeping around you, they have phones, they have iPhones, they have what, that kind of, you'll be like, why not me? Why not me get the iPhone? Why not? Then what you will decide to do what they are doing, to get what they have, you're going to have to take some decisions that are not right.
Yes.
So it has affected so much our decisions that in the end, they even make us lose opportunities. You have been having an opportunity to study. Your parents are willing to give you the money and do what. There's someone out there who's wishing to get that money and they are not getting it. But because for you, you have gotten this, but you still want, then that's why some girls end up getting pregnant. You lose the opportunity. You lose the people that would have helped you. You lose important things in your life just because of this timely thing that you have. This peer pressure is affecting so much. There's someone I was talking to, and then I told them, do not let the current feelings that you have mislead you, affect the values that you have had, you've had for a long time. You've been there and you're saying, me, I would never sleep with a man to get this. But because that peer pressure is here, you want to have that iPhone. You're going to sleep with a man. The man will give you the money, leave you with diseases, leave you pregnant. I would never. Where are they? You've lost them.
They are no more.
You've lost your values. You've lost the people who would be there for you, the opportunities. Oh my God.
Yeah, and what happens is when you said that, it also leads to self-withdrawal. Like you withdraw from people.
Yeah.
Because at first you thought it was okay, but now that it has put you to a very bad place, you're like, okay, your esteem goes very low. And after the esteem has gone low, you start withdrawing from society. You start
Yeah.
even withdrawing from people who would have helped you to do your life better. And what happens is, and also that's where the devil wants us to go. The devil wants us to perish.
And we are in a society, Uganda, Africans, we are people who don't even, we are not that much people who embrace mental health. Abazungu wanted to That is why you hear some people, me, I'm an introvert, I'm what? Because
And they pride in it. They find so much confidence in it.
You're
and that's
keeping
wrong.
yourself from people. In a society where mental health is not that embraced, do not cause yourself things that are going to destroy you mentally.
And the so-called introverts, I'm not saying that introverts are bad people. I'm not saying that it's a bad character to be an introvert, but it's not something that you should really feel comfortable about, because most of the introverts that I know, eventually when I noticed about their introversy, they are actually doing a lot of dirty stuff on the inside, because they have put a fence, a whole wall
You cannot
about themselves, because they think that they can do life alone.
Yeah.
And that is very wrong.
No one does life alone.
Yeah, no
It
one
is
does
just
life alone.
a perception that
Last week I was talking to a friend, and a few days ago I was talking to a friend, and she was telling me, I wanted to be a friend eventually, but then I was afraid of coming to approach you and all that. I'm like, okay, why? Did I do anything wrong? Is there something that I'm not doing right that was keeping you away from me? And she was like, no, I think it's because I was very, very quiet, and I was so much of an introvert, and until I felt like it was no longer helping me.
Yeah.
So even to an introvert, there is a time where you're being an introvert will never
not
help you, because you need someone that you can do life with. You need people that can challenge you. You need to put yourself in a place where temptation can still come, because when temptation comes, you never know how strong you are until temptation comes. When the temptation comes and you overcome it, until like when temptation comes and Esther tells you that, you know what, Sammy, we are not going to do that. Those are not our values. That's when you know that you're a strong person. But if you're in a place where you're like, I don't want to know anything. I want to stay in my own space so that nothing comes to me. Trust me, the day it comes, you will be easily taken up.
And even that introversy, it does not help you heal. We have childhood traumas, things that we have gone through as young children and what. But if you always keep yourself to yourself, you're not going to heal until you listen to someone's story, until you get someone to talk to. That is how you're going to heal, embracing that you went through something, now it is time for you to heal.
Yeah, so another effect that comes with peer pressure is behavior addiction. You were a good girl growing up. You were a good young man growing up. But then because you found some people along the way, they taught you stuff that you never used to do. They taught you stuff that you didn't know. And somehow you picked a lot of interest. You loved whatever that they taught you. And sometimes these people that have taught us these things pull out. And they leave you there. You get addicted, and you start struggling with, getting out of, this whole bond, and you're like, how am I going to get out of it? And eventually it spoils your entire life. I don't want us to get there.
That is when we lose the opportunities.
What advice do we give to the youth? What is the solution? How do we deal with peer pressure? Because by the way, also, there is good peer pressure. There are some people who are going to come in our lives and they are going to affect us for the better. Way. But today we are mostly focusing on the peer pressure that is spoiling this generation. So what do you think would be a solution to peer pressure?
I think first things first, take a step to identify who you are.
Yeah,
Carry out
self-discovery.
self-discovery series. What do I want? What am I interested in? In which position of life am I? Omanyi twerabira you ovenonge wamubambi mubadde temulina sente, you go to school because peer pressure, everyone is having money, everyone is doing this, you want to live that kind of life, but that is not your life.
That's not your life.
Let us first take on the series of identifying who we are. What do we want? Where do I want to be? When do I want to be there? What am I supposed to do to be there? If I discover myself that this is what I'm going to be, I will keep around the group
Yes,
of those people that I want to be
like.
And let us be intentional. You're not going to just say, me, I want to be like this, but you're not intentional. It is not about just speaking. If you want to be that, what are you doing for you to be that? Or instead, you're going the opposite way. Identify yourself, know where you want to be, your position in life, and know the people to keep around you and be intentional about what you want.
Thank you so much, Esther. And finally, where you were talking, I noticed one of the things that I have personally done that has kept me from peer pressure is noting down, keeping track of my goals. You know, I want to have finished school by this time. Because of that, I will avoid anything that is going to come in as a distraction. I want to have bought property by this time. I want to marry at this age. I want to find a good job at this time. I want to have accumulated this kind of money at this time. You know, those factors will help you know where am I supposed to be at what time, which people am I supposed to stay around with.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are struggling with these issues, but I pray that they will get over them, that people will find the right people to work with, people to do life with, so that they can successfully lead their lives. Because if they don't do that, life is very hard. And the moment you mess it up in just one step, it's very hard to reverse. It's very hard to reverse. So thank you so much for joining. I'll bring you back again with so much that we can talk about the youth. And until next time, thank you so much.